You watch her scroll through those perfect feeds, and something inside you tightens. You wonder if you're already losing her to a world that will never see her the way Allah sees her. This isn't another list of rules to recite to her before bed. By the end of this video, you'll have 5 ways to raise a daughter whose confidence rests not on filters or followers, but on the quiet certainty that she is seen, chosen, and loved by her creator. Stay with me because what I'm about to share changed the way my own daughter looks at herself in the mirror. Assalamu alaikum, my dear sister. If you've ever watched your daughter compare herself to a stranger on a screen, you are not alone. If you've ever caught her going quiet after scrolling, wondering why her life doesn't look like that, you are not alone. If you've ever lain awake wondering whether you're raising a girl who knows her worth or a girl who is quietly absorbing the world's version of it, you are not alone. Every mother raising a girl today is fighting a battle her own mother never had to fight. We grew up comparing ourselves to the girls in our own neighborhood. Our daughters are comparing themselves to a curated, filtered, algorithm fed version of thousands of girls at once. The world hands our daughters a mirror built by strangers. It tells them their worth is measured in likes, in bodies, in trends that change by the week. And you, tired as you are, up before everyone else and asleep after everyone else, are standing in the gap between her and all of it. That is not a small thing. That is one of the most important jobs on this earth, and it does not go unnoticed by the one who sees everything. Here is the shift I want to offer you tonight. You don't have to compete with the world for her attention. You will lose that fight if you try, because the world never sleeps and it never runs out of new ways to reach her. What you can do instead is become the place she runs to when the world gets too loud. That is the transformation this video is really about. Not more rules, not more warnings about the dangers of her phone. A relationship so rooted in safety, warmth, and faith that comparison slowly loses its grip on her heart. This doesn't happen through one big conversation. It happens through small, consistent effort, repeated on ordinary days when nothing feels urgent. That is what actually builds it. Not perfection, not a perfect script you recite once. Just showing up again and again in the small moments she will remember long after she's forgotten the big ones. Maybe you're reading this and thinking of a specific moment, a specific look on her face when she put her phone down and went quiet. Maybe it was last week. Maybe it was this morning. Hold on to that moment gently instead of replaying it with guilt, because guilt will not help either of you tonight. What will help is what comes next. Let's walk through 5 ways to build that in her starting tonight. Number 1, anchor her worth in her creator before the world gets to define it for her. Our daughters hear 100 voices a day telling her who to be. Loud voices, glossy voices, convincing voices, all speaking with a confidence that makes them sound like they know her better than she knows herself. Long before any of those voices reach her, she needs to hear yours first, and she needs to hear it often. Tell her plainly and without embarrassment that Allah made her with intention. Nothing about her body, her personality, or her path is an accident. The Quran speaks of every soul being formed with care, shaped in the best of forms, known intimately by the one who created her. When she truly understands this in her bones, not just as a phrase she's heard, the mirror on her phone starts to lose its grip on her heart. Say it to her this week, not as a lecture delivered with a serious face, just a quiet truth dropped into an ordinary moment, in the car, at the dinner table, while she's doing her hair. Watch how her shoulders sit a little straighter after you say it, even if she doesn't say anything back. You may have to say it 100 different ways before it truly settles in her, and that is completely fine. Repetition is not weakness here. It is how a truth becomes part of who she believes herself to be. Number 2, let her see you struggle and still trust Allah. Daughters don't learn real confidence from mothers who look like they have it all together. They learn it from watching a mother wobble, feel afraid, and still stand back up. There's a well-known theme running through the seerah of hardship faced openly within the Prophet's own household, without anyone pretending it wasn't hard. If you hide every struggle from her, if you only ever show her your calm, finished, put together self, she will grow up believing struggle means failure and that showing up imperfect is something to be ashamed of. Let her see you make dua when you're overwhelmed. Let her hear you say out loud, I don't know how this is going to work out, but Allah does and I trust Him. That single sentence, repeated often enough over the years, becomes the quiet foundation her own resilience is built on. She is watching how you survive far more closely than she is listening to what you say. Your unfiltered moments may end up teaching her more than your best prepared lectures ever could. There is no shame in her seeing you cry or seeing you tired, as long as she also sees you turn back to Allah afterward. That sequence, struggle followed by sincere return, is the exact pattern you want quietly living inside her one day. Number 3. Praise her character before her appearance. This one is quiet, but it shapes almost everything underneath the surface. Notice what you comment on first when she walks into a room, or gets ready for school, or comes downstairs dressed for a family gathering. If it's always her outfit, her hair, how pretty she looks today, you are training her, without meaning to measure herself the exact same way the world already does. Instead, notice her patience with her younger sibling after a long day. Notice her honesty when it would have been so much easier to lie and avoid the consequence. The way of the prophet was to speak gently and to praise sincerity and good character above almost everything else. Try this for 1 week straight. Every single time you're tempted to comment on how she looks, comment instead on who she is becoming. You will watch her posture change in front of you, slowly, without her even realizing why. This shift costs you nothing but attention, and yet it quietly rewires what she believes deserves to be noticed about her, long after she's outgrown caring what anyone thinks of an outfit. Number 4. Give her language for her feelings before the internet gives her its own. If we don't teach her the words for what she's feeling, someone else's content will hand her the wrong ones, wrapped in a trend or a caption that sounds relatable but leads nowhere good. Sit with her when she's upset, instead of rushing straight to fix it or dismiss it. Ask her gently, what does this feeling feel like in your body right now? Teach her that feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or lonely doesn't mean something is wrong with her. It means she's human, and humans were made to turn to Allah in exactly these moments, not to hide from them or numb them. This isn't a punishment, and it isn't weakness. This is a redirection, a habit you are quietly building in her. She learns to bring her sadness to sujud before she learns to bury it in a feed that will never actually comfort her, no matter how long she scrolls. It might feel small sitting on the edge of her bed while she cries about something that seems minor to you. To her, in that moment, it isn't minor at all, and your presence there is teaching her something no app ever could. Number 5. Let her belong somewhere real, not just somewhere online. Confidence grows in community, not in comment sections. If her only sense of belonging comes from an app, from strangers reacting to a version of herself she carefully curated, she will spend the rest of her life chasing validation from people who don't actually know her. Find her a circle of real girls, real friends, real faces she can sit across from, even if it takes real effort on your part to build it. A weekend halakha, a sisters gathering, a masjid youth group, anything that gives her somewhere to be known in person, not performed for behind a screen. Community was never optional in this deen. It was always part of how a believer stays grounded, held accountable gently, and reminded she isn't alone. Give her that consistently and watch how much less she needs the world's applause to feel like she matters. It doesn't have to be a large circle. Even 2 or 3 girls who genuinely know her, who she can sit with in real silence, will do more for her heart than 1,000 strangers ever could. None of this happens overnight, and honestly, none of it needs to. You are not failing if today was hard, if you snapped at her, if you forgot to say any of this out loud this week. You are not behind if she still struggles with comparison sometimes, if she still sighs at her reflection or goes quiet after scrolling. Allah sees every quiet effort you make that no one else will ever know about, the dua you whisper for her while she sleeps down the hall, the patience it takes to say the same gentle reminder for what feels like 100th time with no visible result yet. None of it is wasted, even when it feels invisible. Raise her with consistency over perfection, and trust that the seeds you're quietly planting tonight will grow long after this video ends, long after she's forgotten you even said it. There will be seasons where it feels like nothing is landing, where she rolls her eyes or shuts her door a little too firmly. That is not proof you failed. That is simply what growing up looks like, even for a daughter who is more anchored than she knows. Keep showing up anyway. Keep saying the quiet truths anyway. One day, maybe not this year, maybe not for many years, she will stand in front of her own mirror in a moment you will never witness, and something you said tonight will rise up in her heart and steady her. That is the quiet, long, patient work of raising a daughter who knows exactly who she belongs to. If this reached something in you tonight, tell me in the comments which of these 5 you needed to hear most today. And if you want more reminders like this one, stay close, subscribe, and let's keep walking this road together, one small, sincere effort at a time.